You ever ride by those houses that has the big, beautiful, wide stripes in them? And you know for a fact that those homes are cut with the commercial mower. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to simulate the same wide stripes with the push mower. And these wide stripes are going to give your lawn that pop that you never had before. Let's jump into the video. So there's a few things that you're going to need to make all of this come together. Number one, you're going to need a push mower. And if you're watching this video, you have one. As you can see on my push mower, I do not have a stripe kit. If you have a stripe kit, it'll make those lines pop a little bit more, but it's not necessary. And the second thing that you're going to need is a good stand of turf. You have to have a good stand of turf to make those stripes pop. Now, if you have turf that looks like this, where it's spotty, or if you have turf that you think is turf but it's really weeds, then you need to do a renovation. But main thing, having a good stand of turf. Last but not least, everyone's going to do this differently. This is just a way that I find it comfortable for me to be able to do it. Now, how we're going to simulate these wide stripes, we're going to do it like we have two mowers going down in each row. So for example, in the first row, we have two mowers going down. Second row, we have two mowers coming back. Third row, two mowers going down. Fourth row, two mowers coming back, so on and so forth. Remember, before you go into another row, you have to do two cuts in the row that you are in. That way you won't get confused when you go into the next row. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to create a border around my whole entire lawn. Now, some people don't do this, but I like to make sure that I get the grass on the edge, grass near the landscapes, before I do any type of design on my lawn. So border, first thing. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to move your mower over one spot, because we're going to simulate these wide stripes like we have two mowers mowing side by side. So you're going to move it over one spot, follow your border line all the way down until you get to the end of your cutting. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to turn your mower around and you're going to start your next two double lines. The first line is going to be right next to the line that you just mowed. Remember, we're mowing these things as if two mowers are mowing next to each other. So we did two lines going straight down. Now we're about to do two lines going straight back. So as we come to the end of this line, we're going to have to go right back where we started and come back down again. So we're going to get in our previous lines, as you see me lining my mower up now, and then I'm going to go down this row just to be able to come back so I can mow a second line in my second row. Now, since I've came to the end, I want to basically take my mower, scoot it over, and I'm going to mow another line coming straight down. This is going to give that light dark effect where I'm having two lines that are going to be white and then two lines that are going to look dark. Now, when we come to the end, we've already mowed two lines in our first row and we've mowed two lines in our second row. Now it's time to get on our third row, and we're going to start with our first line in our third row. As we have completed the first cut in our third row, we need to come back so that we can complete the second cut in our third row. So I'm going to get in the second row and I'm going to come in the line that I just cut. And then when I get to the end of this line, that's when I'm going to go ahead and move my mower over so I can complete the second cut in my third row. Now, when we get to the end, we're going to turn our mower around and position it in the first stripe in the fourth row. Because remember, our first row already cut, second row already cut, third row already cut. Now we're about to start mowing our first stripe in our fourth row. Now the same rules applies as the last one. We're going to turn our mower around and we're going to do one stripe down our third row so that we can be able to come back down and mow our second stripe in our fourth row. So one stripe going all the way down in our third row, just so we can be able to get to the end, then turn our mower around, get in our second stripe in our 4th row, and then be able to come down and cut. So the next thing is we're going to do our first stripe in our 5th row. Now the same thing is going to apply. We need to go ahead and back our mower up, turn it around, and then we're going to get in the previous stripe that we just mowed in our 4th row. Remember, we're mowing these stripes by 2s. So we're going to mow this down, and then we're going to get in our second lane in our 5th row, and we're going to complete our second stripe. As you can see, it's not that bad, is it? The more that you do it, the more you're going to get the hang of it. The more that you get the hang of it, the more you're going to see your stripes bleed into the turf. As you can see, it looks like we have light marks, dark marks, light marks, dark marks, so on and so forth. Once you start to develop this pattern, it's going to be easier for you to be able to follow so that you won't get confused on which stripe or which line or which row that you need to cut in. And that's about it, folks. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you gained something from it. So if you're tired of putting those single stripes in your line and you want to do something different to make your line pop, this is Polo's way of being able to simulate wider stripes in your line with a push mower. I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll see y'all in the next one.